Hello, so it's time to talk for about 11 minutes. Starting off, I was trying this thing where you sort of like rough in the silhouette, and this was gonna be like a very fun, like full body thing of Fannar like dancing in vaguely 80s inspired clothes. That's what those reference images are off to the side. But then I didn't like how the silhouette approach was going, so I just went and did my normal thing, just making a head. That's his head. Got a head. It's really weird watching this like super sped up. This is sped up to like 500%. Then we're going in, we're fixing up his face, making it a little less busted. Oh yeah, I ended up like completely erasing and redrawing his nose shadow. And I'm doing that thing where like you put in like circles for the sides of the head, so that way everything is better proportioned. Oh yeah, I had a little bit of trouble with his expression. It was really weird. I just couldn't quite get it right at first because there was the balance of like, okay, Fannar doesn't exactly have like luscious lips, but he has lips. Uh, oh yeah, I drew in his earring and then it kind of got lost in the final product. And his horns, which are so fucking inconsistent, please kill me. His horns never quite look the same twice. But yeah, I'm trying to sort of give a sense of the depth of the horns and how they're placed on his head. Oh yeah, that eyebrow was a bit wonky. Hmm. Okay. Oh yeah, if it ever like pauses, like if my mouse just like wiggles around a bunch, that's just because the recording software only records one window at a time. And so I had a reference image window open and it can't record that. But yeah, putting in his markings. Fenar's got these markings like on his face and body that they're like the result of magic from complicated backstory stuff that I don't think I want to get into at the moment. Oh yeah, the posing was fucking ridiculous on this. I was having so much fucking trouble posing that I like stopped and decided to backtrack and do his hair. Which, God, I love drawing his hair. I know when I first made Fannar, my goal was, oh yeah, he's gonna be like awful rat man with dirty, greasy hair. But then the problem is I like drawing nice hair too much, and so he doesn't actually have the greasy rat hair he was supposed to have. He's got like this nice, luscious, maybe he's born with it hair. Oh yeah, and putting in the shoulders, and I ended up like the way I posed him, he's like super tipped forward, like you kind of get the sense that he's maybe like leaning onto something, like he's leaning on a table. Which I'm not really sure how great I did the foreshortening here, but hey, this was just a very sketchy thing that I wanted to do real quick. Oh god, did I put his thumbs on the wrong sides of his hands? Dear lord, I'm a mess. Yeah, putting in his arms. Oh, you'll notice there's like a little specific flourish with like the muscles on the forearms, like where the forearms and the arm meet. I picked that up from this one game, visual novel, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's just a very distinct feature and I really like how it looks and I've been trying to add it. And here we go. I was kind of deciding on the fly how much of his outfit I wanted to include, like how dressed up, dressed down he was gonna be. So he ends up having like basically only like the first layer and some of his armor on in the final thing. Oh yeah, the reference image returns. It was gonna be like this like ruffled pirate shirt, which it's still kind of a pirate shirt, not really ruffled though. Yeah, just putting it in, blah blah blah. I really need to actually like name my layers more often. I usually only do it if I'm worried that I'm gonna get confused which layer is which. But this was like something fairly small. This, oh yeah. So he has on his belt, he has a dagger and like this little like piece of plate armor that's supposed to like protect his thigh or whatever. But I rarely ever include it in drawings of him And he was gonna have the dagger on his belt, but then I decided at the last minute not to, because I was worried that the dagger looked too small for his hands. Yep, going back, cleaning up the sketch. This was never meant to be like anything super nice, so it's more just like a cleaned up sketch than the actual line art by the end of it. It's all just a matter of making sure I know what layer I'm on, and having the fingers hovering over Control Z. Oh yeah, so I turned off layer 6, and that's gonna come back to bite me later. Because layer 6 is like where is how I got like the shoulders and neck situated. I don't know why I turned that layer off. Okay, good. No, I didn't put the thumbs on the wrong side of his hands. Thank God. I would have I don't know. Something. I would have broken my wrist. I don't know. But yeah, just going in, cleaning up the sketch. Clean, 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 clean. Oh yeah, I goofed a little and accidentally erased like part of his chest. Oh, and there's like a little like glob of color on his shoulder. That was just me saving my sketch color. Fannar. Fannar is a piece of work. Jesus fucking Christ, Fannar. What the fuck is your problem? Oh yeah, and this is where turning off layer 6 came to bite me in the ass, because I was trying to figure out how to like fix his like neck slash shoulders, not realizing that that was like the first thing I did, and eventually I turned layer 6 back on because I realized my mistake. Let's see, what's next? Yeah, putting in some more details to like the hair, cleaning up the sketch a bit more, merging some layers. Yeah, and this is another instance of only being able to record one window at a time. What I did was I went into the filters and I adjusted the saturation and the brightness like way up and way down respectively, so that way I would get basically almost black lines. Then I just start with my flats, which I have been slowly editing a lot of my characters' color palettes just because I feel like I've been getting better at picking colors. There's that very stereotypical but true thing about how like amateur artists pick very saturated colors. And yeah, to be fair, that's a very easy trap to fall into. Which, God, I really need to get better at coloring very dark hair because it's so easy to lose like all of the depth once you put down the black. Like a big part of me picking out colors has just been learning how to pick like the appropriate level of saturation. Like just trying to find a good balance with like blacks, grays. It's all just trying to find balance between everything so that way what you want to pop out really does. Like normally like maybe like a year ago I would have just colored this shirt like a very very light aqua to be white, but this is meant to have like I guess a slightly more realistic tone, he said about a tiefling, but more realistic tone, so it's like a more of like a very light yellowish brown canvas color. Oh yeah, and this is me attempting to put down some very basic shading on his face. Yep, just gotta put in all those shadows around his eyes because you totally aren't just putting in your own personal experience with having very, very deep set eyes. Oh yeah, and I put some like pink to his ears, just like the natural sort of, not so much flush ears have, but like the way the ears are pretty thin and like the way light flows through them. Oh yeah, this was me trying to put depth back in the hair, which this is all with the airbrush tool for putting in depth with hair. I really just like to use very small airbrush brushes. I'm mostly just working with like all the default brushes in Medibang. Like in part it's just because I'm like too lazy to figure out any other brushes. Oh, painting gold. I love coloring gold. It's so much fun. Because like the way to really make gold look like gold is to use brown. You need brown and very bright, almost whites and yellows to really make it pop and look like gold. And the stipple pen is good for slightly rougher textures like leather, especially leather that's like seen some use. Yep, this is a lot of toying around with blending modes. Yeah, trying to put down a light source basically. Oh, and I think we're about to hit the point where yeah, this is where I like fiddled around with adding my signature for like way too long. I don't know why it took me so long to figure out what to do with my signature, but eventually it ended up on his shoulder, and that's what matters. Oh yeah, there's more of me messing with the reference window, which I don't remember what color that was supposed to be. I think that's meant to be one of the colors in his earrings, but yeah. And here we go, background. I'm trying to sort of do an ice texture, just something pretty simple. It's weird. I don't think I realized how often I'm zooming when I draw, but with this, because I was recording it and I knew I was recording it, I was making a point of not constantly zooming in and out. Because there was one time I was watching a speed paint and my roommate, she was like standing over my shoulder, and every time the artist like zoomed in on his canvas, she would go, "Nyum, nyum, nyum," and it's like, Jesus Christ, please shut up. Like, I get it, I get the joke, but please stop. Oh yeah. And now I'm just trying to fill the negative space with text, because why not? Does it kind of end up looking like this one other YouTuber? Yes, but anyway. Final product! It's the bastard! He! Oh yeah, those are the songs I used originally, but then copyright happened.